This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous two-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass?" So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
The TalkSport Fan Network is proudly supported by McDelivery, bringing you the food you love. McDelivery brings a top-tier line of food right to your door. No matter the result, you'll always be winning with McDelivery. So, the only thing left to say is, you in? Order now on the McDonald's app, and you can also get rewards points delivered too, so that ordering today means some tasty rewards for tomorrow. Only via app at participating restaurants, 18 plus. Rewards registration required. Points only on menu items. Delivery fee and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Will look to pick it up and he'll go on here. Left two up here, Bradford. It's Beagrey. He's got to make this count. It's Beagrey. It's 1-1. You'll see a somersault now. You'll get a double.
Hopefully everybody can hear me. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and welcome to Harrogate vs Bradford City preview live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, every social site you can think of, and even Instagram. On today's show, we will be talking about the dreaded post-match Notts County again, pre-match Harrogate, latest Bradford City news, the weather forecast for the Bradford game, score predictions, and everyone's favourite feature. If you watch CBBS, you know what I'm on about. What's on your plate? Also, I am joined by, hopefully they can hear me, Diane and Stan.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good evening, Bradford. This is Krakow calling. These are the results of the Polish jury.
Nice to see our international Polish news reporter, Stan, is back from his jollies.
Stefan Rupp, nil point. Yeah. Good evening, guys.
So let's get straight into this. So what's your thoughts on the Notts County game, Stan?
I didn't see it. I kind of followed it. Obviously, I was on holiday, yeah, it's just a symptom of the last few games. But it's a symptom of the wider problem, really, isn't it? I've said for a while, I've not rated Alexander. I've been underwhelmed, and I think he's kind of, unfortunately, coming home to roost. I think the players are probably demoralised. I think he's lost the dressing room. Another match of bizarre lineups and formation, and again, McDonald on the bench, no Bobby Poynton. It's not just a Bobby thing, but it's just kind of the tactics he employs, and I think whether he's just I don't know what's gone on, but I think maybe it's come to a head with the players in terms of they basically maybe they have down tools because they don't rate him. Don't know, guys.
What about yourself, Diane, love?
You could tell, excuse me, I'm Paulie again. You can tell Miss Jonathan Tompkinson at the back on Tuesday night, having been on international duty. I don't know what's happening at that club at all. We should have won at home, but I have honestly no idea what's happening at the club. It's like the players just don't want to play.
Yeah. Do you think that's due to the ownership, or do you think it's to do with the manager? What do you think it's to do with?
Could be to do with the manager. But he only tells them what to do he tells them what to do. If they're not doing what he tells them, what can we do?
But it depends what they're being told, doesn't it, Dan?
Yeah.
Because, how many times have we seen it since he's come in? You've got all these players that can play football and he just hoofs it.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he, down pitch and everything. But I don't know what's going on. They need somehow to get together. Like you say, Sam, it could be dressing room unrest. We don't know at all.
So we've had Ollie BCAC on TikTok reply, and he's saying it's poor tactics as well and not playing our best players. Yeah, agree with that one on Ollie. We've had DJ Lee, should be here. So hopefully DJ Lee, you should be able to hear me today, hopefully. Oh, Lee, don't do this to me.
Hello.
This is to be a technical free message.
No, it's technical free, yes.
Technical free, as it stands, touch wood.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm touching no wood, thank you very much.
One for the adults there.
There you go.
So, Lee, what were your thoughts on the Notts County game?
Oh, God. Do you know, I've had a really good day, and you go and mention that.
It's therapy. This is therapy session, lads and lasses.
Therapy. I don't feel like it's therapy. Do you know what? I'm putting it to bed. It just... What can you say about that? It was just clueless. Totally clueless. I despair when you've got three defenders, three fullbacks in a three-man back three. It just beggars belief. The wrong people on the pitch, my opinion. We started off like a burning Spitfire, really. There's only one way we're going to go, and it did. And we never looked like being in that game. I know what he says in his thing, we were always in game. Well, we were on pitch with them, yeah, but it can't have looked pretty to any of them.
Yeah. So we've had Frankie on TikTok. Any academy players you reckon on Saturday? We'll get to that in a couple of minutes. Frankie, when we do the pre-match Harrogate Town game. Ollie, also part recruitment from Ryan Sparks. So on that, Ollie, it's probably Ryan Sparks and Stephen Gent. They picked the players, sorry. Right, is anyone else got anything they want to talk about on the Notts County game? George, I see you're appearing there at the bottom. If you want a bit of therapy on the Notts County game, put a request in and start or down. We'll accept you because I don't want to touch any buttons at the minute because every time I touch buttons, things mess up.
Don't touch that down.
So hopefully that would work. So anyone else got anything to chat about the Notts County game? Okay, I'll take that.
You guys go. Who went?
I went.
What time did you leave?
Oof, I'll let Diane go first on that.
I left at full time again.
Yeah, I left 65th minute. I just walked out of the ground. Couldn't be bothered anymore. Jumped on the bus, looked at my phone, and they scored. Came home. Sorry, came home. Put radio leads on, listened to it at home, and then they scored. Can somebody please accept Georgia? There we go.
I've done it.
Right, Miss Georgia. Are you there today?
I am.
Happy days. Right, so what's yours and your brother's thoughts on the Forest game?
Forest? You mean County?
Sorry, County. Yeah.
Let's just say we've had to have a sit down and have a conversation with my little brother because he doesn't want to go no more because they keep losing.
That's not good, is it?
So my mum's had a conversation, sat him down and gone, right, Jake, you've got to take the rough with a smooth and support your team because they need you there.
Exactly right.
So
yeah.
He's finally wanting to go again, but he's a bit all over the place thinking he doesn't want to, but he wants to, and it's like a yo-yo. He's not happy. A yo-yo.
So we've had Samuel B on. So Samuel's put left at full time, and then he's put call Georgia Bubbles, please.
Oh yeah.
What's Bubbles, Georgia?
Bubbles. Right, about that, this is a nickname that they've all given me. Diane was on about it last week with me. If anybody sits in northwest corner, they will hear it constantly. It's all I get. That's the only entertainment that's been coming from the last couple of games is me getting called Bubbles.
Okay, I'm not going to ask why you call Bubbles, because I have a funny feeling
It's
it's
to do
not
with
very...
my last name, because my last name's Buttle, but if you change a couple of letters, it's Bubbles.
Okay, right. Well, I know we've got TikTok. Oh, is Miss Callie here? Miss Callie, are you here?
Hi everyone. Yes, I'm here. I've got hardly no voice, but I'm here.
It's all right. I just want to ask, is anyone drinking as we speak? Because I know we had a couple of drinking sessions, especially Diane. She was doing this absolutely rat ass last week.
And I went to work the next day sober.
Yeah. So, what was your thoughts on the Notts County game, Cal?
Oh, do you know what? I just want to forget about it. I think the season's over now. I can't see us getting out this season. I think we've just got to regroup now and just take the fact that we're in League Two another season. And we've just got to regroup and start again, haven't we? And hope for miracles next season.
Yeah. So
I don't think we're even. I think the team's given up, just like the fans have. To be fair.
So we're going to go on to that after we've done the Harrogate galley. So keep it bottled up. We're going to get there. So you'll see. Let me just click there and there. So Harrogate versus Bradford City. Harrogate versus Bradford City tomorrow, 1:00 kickoff, a bit earlier, 23rd of March 2024 at the Enviro Event Stadium. And the referee is Sam Purkis. These names are getting better and better every game. Right, so Mr. Purkis has had EFL trophies, had 2 appearances, dished out 9 yellow cards, no second yellows, no reds, 2 penalties. League 1, he's had 12 appearances, 49 yellow cards, 2 second yellows, 4 reds, 3 penalties. In League 2, he's had 12 appearances, dished out 56 yellow cards, 1 second yellow, 4 reds, 3 penalties. FA Cup, he's had 1 appearance, 3 yellow cards, 0 second yellows, 0 reds, 0 penalties. In the EFL Cup, he's had 1 appearance, 6 yellow cards, no second yellows, no reds, 1 penalty. Altogether, he's had 28 appearances, 123 yellow cards. He's dished out 3 second yellows altogether, 8 red cards, 9 penalties. And a bit of stat action for everybody, because I know they love the stats. So, where are we? Here we go. So, top scorer for Harrogate is Thompson, as is Cook. Thompson's had 11 goals, Andy Cook's had 15. Tompkinson had 4 assists, Cook's had 5. Match played 35, and Andy Cook's had 35. Harrogate are ranked 21st goals scored per match, 1.1 goals. They haven't scored in their last 2 matches, haven't won a match in 8 attempts, so they'll probably win us tomorrow. Bradford City are ranked 20 in goals scored per match, 1.2. Haven't lost their last 3 matches. Andy Cook has the most shots on target. And just going back to a couple of scores. So Harrogate have won 5 times against Bradford. They've drawn once, and Bradford have won twice. Going back to 2022, Harrogate won 2-0. 2022 again, Bradford lost 3-1. Harrogate then lost 2-1 on the 1st of October 2022. 5th of November 2022, Bradford lost 1-0. 29th of December 2020, Bradford won 1-0. And 16th of September 2023, Bradford City drew 1-1. So what is everybody's thoughts on that? We'll start off with Stan the Man and go across.
I honestly don't think we'll get anything out of the game tomorrow. Obviously, last year was the first time we'd beaten them. And yeah, it's like it's going to be a major task for the players to go up for the game. I mean, I'd hope they've got professional pride, but I think it's less about that. But yeah, I can't see us getting anything out of the game tomorrow, unfortunately.
Miss Diane.
Like Stan said, you know what'll happen, don't you? They've not won for so long. What's going to happen? We're going to go there and they'll probably beat us. Hopefully we might get our away win like we'd normally do. But I'm a bit jiffy about the score tomorrow and the match? Because I'm not going, you see, so I'm a bit, I don't know.
Okay, Georgia, love?
I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully we win, because obviously little man wants to win, but I just don't know anymore. I ain't going to it either tomorrow. I've paid to watch it, so I'm going to sit and connect the laptop to TV.
Okay, and I see Chris has sneaked in. Are you there, Chris?
I am, finally.
Finally.
Seeing as X would let me in.
Oh, it's typical X, isn't it? What were your thoughts on the Notts County game to start off with?
Oh, my God. Again, we just fell apart, didn't we? I think we sort of played relatively okay, even though Alexander were telling us that we were a right good team. But I don't think we did play a right good team. I didn't think we were all fully knit for the likes of Smallwood, etc., etc. You know, it's just one of them. It's the same typical people that do the same typical thing and cause us the problems in midfield and defence and everything. I thought Cook, bless his little socks, right? I thought he had a bit of a poor game. He just didn't really attack right well, did he? He was doing really good in the midfield role. And then when he tried scoring and what have you, he just went straight to the keeper and stuff. So I think their heads were down after the losses that they've had. And yeah, I mean, you can't blame them. But I'll tell you one thing. I've never, ever, ever booed my team. I'm 51 years old, never booed them, and I never will. I don't think that's the way to go. But there's some fans that just feel like they want to vent their anger in that way, which I disagree with.
Yeah. Did you leave on Tuesday? When did we play him? Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. Did you leave Tuesday, Chris?
Basically, I didn't want to leave. Basically, when their goal went in, the last goal, their third goal, I think it was a case of the two that I go with, they're driving. So the dad basically disappeared. He went round corner, and I just thought, he's going to the toilet. And my mate nudged me and went, no, he's going. Are we going? So basically, I had to follow him. And what it was, we got to the bottom. We just got out of the doors at Bantam's Bar, and you heard the boos. So it wasn't that sort of late that we left. Wasn't that early that we left, sorry.
And what's your thoughts on the Harrogate game?
Yeah, I'm thinking same as Stan and Diane, to be fair. I'm thinking, I'm not sure that we're going to get anything because we've always been bad against them. But I am hoping that the players, we've got Darbs day to day when they're all walking and stuff. And I'm thinking, right, come on, raise your heads, lads. Go to it and prove a point to fans. And I think we could steal a goal. I'm just, my heart is telling me, yes, they can. My head's saying, don't be blooming stupid, mate. You know what's coming on.
Yeah.
But stranger things have happened, mate. So I'm going to watch it, albeit I'm not going.
Are you watching it on iFollow?
And this is all because guys that I go with couldn't be bothered getting a ticket, and I'm a bit annoyed with them because they're all talking about not having a season ticket for next season, where I've bought mine for 434 quid.
Yeah, I saw you, because I'm going on to in a minute, Chris, but after we've spoken to Lee and Callie, but I saw your comments on the Yorkshire show, is it? I saw you put it on there.
Yeah.
So is it 434? Is that what your season ticket followed by, obviously, the suite upgrade?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's 180 quid. It was 249 for season ticket, but then it was 180 quid for upgrade, which it's just ridiculous.
But they've got to get the money in somehow, so yeah, whatever.
So, Lee, what's your thoughts on the Harrogate game?
I just want to see an improvement. I want to see him come out and go for it. I want to see Alexander give point in a game. There's a lot of things I want, and I hope I get them, because I'm losing it with Alexander at the moment. His team selection absolutely boils my... It just does. It's just like, what the... I mean, I was glad that I found out today that Stubbs couldn't play because he's got a fractured skull from that elbow in cheek at Doncaster. Fair dues, But when you leave a centre-half on bench in a three-man back three and play three fullbacks, basically, okay, you could say Kelly, maybe a wannabe centre-half. But he had that there to play, but he didn't play him. Nothing. So if we go and get a 1-0 win, happy days.
And before we go to Miss Callie, we've had an Instagram come in from the Football Hub. Do you think we'll beat Harrogate? I will get to that in the next couple of minutes. Just to remind everybody, we are live on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and other social sites. So get your score predictions in, ask questions to the panel, and I will try my best to read them out. Right, Miss Callie, what's your thoughts on the Harrogate game? The derby.
I think for the first time in a long time of supporting them, I've lost faith now this season. I think the Reds have gone down. I think Graham Alexander isn't getting the selections right. I get we've got injuries that's obviously not allowing him to play who he wants to play. But I'm glad I didn't go to the Notts County game. I'm not going tomorrow. I just feel like at the minute I don't even want to pay £10 to watch him on iFollow, because I feel like I'm just wasting money at the minute. Obviously, it's a long drive home for me back to Nottingham. When you don't see the players putting in a shift, I feel like sometimes they're just, we're happy. We're still getting a wage at end of month, and then at end of season, they'll all go. Them that are out of contract will fly off to wherever they're going. They'll have a nice few holidays in sun or whatever. I don't think they're bothered. I really don't at the minute.
Yeah.
I think we'll be lucky to even get a draw tomorrow. I can't see us getting much out of tomorrow's game.
So, I put my teeth back in. I know I normally do this at the end, but I think I'll get rid of it out of the way. So, your score predictions for tomorrow, Stan?
I'll say 2-0 Harrogate.
Okay. Just to let you know, Stan, there's no more sound effects, so
all right.
I think it's a blessing to everybody's ears. Diane?
I'm going to go for a draw. I don't know why. I'm going to go for a draw. That's might be my feeling all day. Even at work, I'm thinking draw. But I don't know.
Georgia?
I don't know what score.
Georgia?
I'm saying a draw, but little man is saying 1-0 to City. So, yeah.
Okay, Chris?
Well, I tell you what, I'm going with little man. I'm saying 1-0 as well.
Okay. Lee?
To City, that is.
To City, yeah. Lee?
Well, I'm going to make it 3 in a row again. I'm going 1-0. And we can beat them. We've shown we can beat anybody in this league. What they're doing now, I can't say, but we're capable. We're capable.
Yeah. And Miss Kelly?
I think it's going to be a bit of a stalemate tomorrow. I think I'm going 0-0 draw tomorrow.
Okay. So we've had a couple of TikToks come in. So we've had Alfie is going to say 2-0 Harrogate. Samuel 1-0. So TikTok, keep getting your score predictions in. People are joining. It's just me, thinks hopefully 2-1. Ollie B, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say 3-1 to Harrogate. Alfie's 2-0. So TikTok, keep getting your score predictions in. I'll come back to them. And the next subject is, this is where we normally do the latest Bradford news. But I'm going to scrap that for today, and I'm just going to say, what in the earth is going on at Bradford City? Watching Bradford City up and down with Callie and others, roller coaster of a ride. Watching Bradford City, we're in the hole at the minute. The Titanic has hit the iceberg, and we're slowly sinking. It could be Ryan Sparks' fault. It could be the owner's fault. I don't have a clue whose fault it is, but part of me's thinking it is obviously Roop's fault because he's not putting the money in to back the team. And rumours are on social media that apparently he's held talks with American consultants over the sale of the club. And just basically, what's people's thoughts on the situation at Bradford? Oops, sorry, we've got Cameron. Are you there, Cameron?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I'll start off with you then, actually, Cameron. So what's your thoughts on the situation at Bradford City? Whose fault do you think it is? Or persons or people?
Personally, I'm not happy how the club's running anyway, but then again, at the same time, I don't think it's fair to sort of pinpoint it on anyone. I think there's just a lot of factors that aren't helping anyone or the club, to be honest. I think if someone is to come in and buy us, then brilliant, with some idea, but I just don't see who's going to do that while we're a League 2 club with zero assets at the minute.
And what do you think will happen in the... Obviously, not going to... Some miracle, I don't know, I've not looked at the league table, but someone said to me the other day we're 7 points off.
Yeah.
So I don't know, some miracle if we win rest of... Is it 8 games we've got left? 8, 9?
Something like that, yeah.
8 or 9 games. Some miracle if we end up winning these 8-9 games, we could still end up in the playoffs, but I'm dreaming. So what happens with
realistically, probably not now.
Yeah. So say we don't go up, Cameron, and we're still in League 2.
Yeah.
Who would you get rid of players wise, and what would you change if you was the owner of Bradford City?
Out of everyone that's out of contract, well, I'll just go from the back. I would be keeping. I'd keep Sam Walker. I'd keep Colin Doyle around just as a backup or a keeper coach. Halliday. I'd offer Platt another deal. Stubbs, I'm still 50-50. Kelly, I'd keep around. Richards. McDonald, he's got a year left, but if someone was to come in, would it be the end of the world? Let him go. I'd keep Patterson, Gilead. Wilson, I wouldn't mind keeping around. Poynton the same. Other than that, Kavanagh, Cook and Jake Young. Other than that, for me, they can go.
And with Graham Alexander, what would you do about him? Would you just keep him or would you get rid of him?
Bringing another manager in, it's not going to achieve anything. We can't just keep swapping, changing. We've got to give a manager 2, maybe 3 seasons probably to sort something out. Because it's not his squad. He's not had time to put his real stamp on it. And look at Mansfield. They've stuck with Clough for a few years. You've got to give managers time to do something. You can't just swap and change managers all the time.
Okay. Stan, same question to you. Who would you keep, get rid of, and whose fault do you think it is?
So ultimately, I do think it's Stefan's fault because in any organisation, the buck stops at the top. However, why it's his fault is because it's obviously his remit to Sparks, who basically he's got a CEO who I don't think he's up to the job, at least on a footballing level. So through Rupp's indifference, shall we say, and kind of very unambitious target, but then it's unambitious in the sense, or it's ambitious in the sense that he can just wait until somebody, gives him the valuation that pays the valuation of the club that he values it at. He doesn't have to sell. I think Sparks is a very inadequate, shall we say, CEO. and basically on a football level, because ultimately there is no philosophy with the club. The previous two appointments, I agreed with those appointments. I didn't agree with the sackings. I didn't agree with the Hughes sacking. And I was very underwhelmed with the Alexander appointment. And the thing is, it's all right saying give the manager time. Well, people didn't give Hughes the time that he should have had. When he was sacked, the week before he was sacked, we were something like 4 points off automatics. I think as well that one of the big things for me was after the Carlisle game last season. What analysis was done by whom in terms of like where we saw where we needed to improve, and the thing is with the club and Ryan Sparks is very reactionary. Just an example being that we have a bit of an atmosphere in the lower cop at the Wickham game. So I think, right, okay, well, we're going to put the atmosphere section in the bottom end of the cop. And, just because in one game, because it was like all concentrated in that one area, it was, it had a good atmosphere and stuff. But, it's like, well, if you're going to do that, kind of plan it ahead, sort of like in terms of like at the start of in the summer for the following season, because we spoke about it a few weeks ago, and like if I was in the cup, I'd be like, well, I'm happy staying where I am, assuming that's where if I were happy enough, I wouldn't want to move. On the footballing field, yeah, like I say, I think people talking about give the manager a chance, but I really don't rate great. I've gone from underwhelmed, but it seems like a decent guy, to totally Alexander out. And I mentioned this a while back on Liam's podcast on the 606 after the Crawley game. I was like, look, I think we need to get rid, because I think that was the first time I was probably despairing after a game for a very long time at the end of a City game. In terms of his tactics, the players that he's got at his disposal, and to employ the tactics and team selections that he does, suggests that, well, he's a dinosaur. He's got a good enough squad to at least get in the playoffs. Maybe not autos, but it's a decent enough squad. There are deficiencies in it, but the squad is good enough, and it's good enough because it's got players that can actually play football, that can actually pass a ball. So if we go on to who I'd keep, because obviously that was sort of mentioned by, sorry, was it Cameron? Sorry. I would keep Sam Walker. I think if we have Sam Walker at the start of the season, I don't think we're in the position that we're in, and I think Hughes is still in the job. Brad Halliday, I would give another contract to. No, absolutely, no doubt about that. I'd keep Platt. I would see. I mean, obviously, because of his development, I don't think we'd get Tompkinson for next season. I like Kelly. I think he's a good defender. Richards as a left back, definitely. We'd need another left back, and we'd need cover for Brad. In midfield, I wouldn't bring you Smallwood. I think he's been up and down in terms of his personality, and I would maybe make Gilead captain. Keep Gilly. I 1,000,000% absolutely massive fan of Big Kev. I think it's been criminal, the fact that Alexander has not played him. And the best example of that, apart from the way he ran the show against Newport away, but also at Wrexham away, in the first, however many it was, 18, 20 minutes or so, we were just hoofing it out of defence, panicking. But as soon as he came on, he calmed everything down, and we went from panic football, hoofing it, to actually having more control in midfield. And also as well, I don't buy this you can't play 2 games a week business, because a player like that can manage himself within a game. and basically players don't need to be running 100 mile an hour all the time. You just need to run at the right time. Definitely, I would give Walker another contract. I would keep Harry Chapman. Obviously, Jake Young. I'd keep Cook, obviously, and the lad Wilson and Bobby. I'd give Bobby like a 50-year contract because I cannot get my head round somebody, and I cannot for one second think that somebody that has had players on their arses in training in the first half of the season is suddenly not training well. And he's put out videos only recently of him basically scoring wonder goals in training. So I really don't know what's going on there. And this is where we were sort of saying, I'm trying to like Graham Alexander, but when he leaves Bobby out of the squad or out of the team, you just think, how's Clark getting on in front of him? And obviously, I'd probably get that's that, and I would build around that squad and get a manager that would play with that squad, and I would I said after the Crawley game I'd be getting rid of Alexander. So those are my thoughts.
Okay, so cheers for that, Stan. So before we go to Diane, we've had quite a few Facebooks and TikToks coming while Stan's been chatting. So I've had Robbie on Facebook. Hey, would love to join the call sometimes if you welcome new people. Hope you are well. And can we talk about two right backs in the same role? So to answer your first one, Robbie, come over to Twitter/X. Just look for Chickens on the Loose podcast. You'll find us. Come and join in and have a chat, and we'll discuss that. Steve, score predictions versus Harrogate is going to go 2-0. We are better. We're hoping the lads can at least have a real go from the start. Yep. And then Big Al over on TikTok. Welcome, Big Al. I know you come here every time, so thank you for popping in. Sorry, but we look unfit. Players don't look interested yet. Then he's put sell up and have a good clear out and start fresh. And then he's put sorry, but we'll be the same. We're building in the summer from Sparks, blah, 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 blah. Alfie's put sell Cook and get rid of Alexander. Gangster Amber, Callie's daughter, she just put Roop. Yep. Alfie BFC, the club's going downhill. Yep. And then obviously we've got a couple of invasions of Mansfield. So Super Mansfield, say whatever you want to say. Keep your questions coming in for the panel and score predictions. And now we're going back to Diane. Same question to you, Diane, what I asked Stan and Cameron. Just what do you think's going on at Bradford City at a minute?
It's probably from the top, Roop and Sparks, and because Roop had a word with Alexander, if I remember rightly, on Saturday, first time he spoke to him since he got his appointment. So he's probably is up there. But we keeping in the team, I'll just say, obviously Sam Walker, keep him. I'd probably get Heath Richardson back in on loan from being out on loan as a backup goalie. So I've got team up. I'd keep Brad, keep Platter, keep Kelly, and hopefully we'd be able to get, I know it sounds a long shot, but Jonathan Tompkinson, because we did miss him on Tuesday night. Keep Lewis Richards. Midfield, I'd get rid of Smallwood, because at the moment he's just not playing. Keep Jamie, keep Gilliard, Patterson, Chappers, and Kevin McDonald's. Forward, I'd definitely keep Andy Cook, keep Tyler Smith, keep Callum and Bobby and Jake Young. So that's mine.
Okay. And what's your thoughts on the ownership, the manager?
Alexander needs time, even though he's got put in November. Like we say, we can't just get rid of a manager halfway through a season because it's not going right. You have to give him time, and he'll have his transfer window in the summer, so he can bring what players he wants in to start with. And I think Rupp should just sell up and, like people say, just get new ownership in.
Yeah.
And get starting again and everything.
Yeah. What else you want to say, Diane, love?
No, I'm just about to get from Weasel Toy Story because my chest is hurting, so it's fun.
Okay. And yourself, Georgia, love, thoughts on the ownership, manager? Just same question what I've asked everybody else, really.
Well, I've just been talking to Diane through Facebook. I agree with Diane. Even Little Man agrees with Diane. obviously I've only started going to the actual games since the little man was 6 and he's 8 this time around. And since he's been there, he's watched some shocking games. But we've both sat and looked at each other and we've gone, Smallwood needs to go. That's just one person definitely that needs to go.
Yeah.
So.
And what's your thoughts on the manager, Alexander?
We've got to give him a chance. Like, he's only been in half a season, so let's wait for a new season, start letting him get all his transfers, and then see how that goes. And if that still don't go well, then he can then be the problem then. But until then, we've got to give him a chance.
Yeah. And Chris, I know you were very vocal on this on the Yorkshire. Is it the Yorkshire Show or something? It's called yesterday because I saw it in the comments.
Yorkshire Football Club or whatever it is. I didn't mean that derogatory to him at all. All I was basically saying was, it were more on the fact that Sparks, don't get me wrong, Sparks is very good commercially, but he ain't got a chuffing clue whatsoever about footballing. Now, you link that, they were talking about, on that other message, they were basically saying, well, would it be a good idea to bring somebody else in above him or at the side of him as director of football? And one of the actual speakers basically said, well, what about... shine on, why do I keep losing my mind? It's because I'm wound up. Paul Jules. So they said, yeah, well, Paul Jules available and he's quite keen apparently, or something along those lines. I think that'd be a really good appointment, just to bring him in and sit on Sparks' shoulder and just say, no, you're doing that wrong. So Sparks has got commercial, Paul Jules got footballing prowess. You know what I mean? So you've got at least somebody then that knows what they're talking about.
Are you ready to enhance your future in tech? Then it's time to make your move to the UK, the nation that has more tech unicorns than France, Germany and Sweden combined. The nation that was third in the world to have a $1 trillion tech sector valuation. The nation where great talent comes together. Visit gov.uk/great talent to see how you can work, live and move to the UK.
Away days are great, but there's nothing quite like playing at home. The same goes for McDonald's. Maximise your home advantage with McDelivery. You in? Order now on the McDonald's app. At participating restaurants, 18 plus, serving times, delivery fee and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Yeah. Anything else, Chris?
Well, in relation to people who had keep, you've got Sam Walker. I'm telling you, basically, the defenders, you've got Halliday as an absolute definite. Matty Platt, I'm a bit sort of 50-50 with him. But whereas others were saying Stubbs 50-50, I think Stubbs, when he's not injured, is a good player. And Kelly's a damn good player as well. Now, when you go to midfield, am I right in saying Jamie Walker is out of contract at the end of this season?
I'm not sure on that. I don't know if anyone's got any confirmation.
Yeah.
So what do you say? Sorry?
We need to keep him. By hook or crook, I don't know how we're going to do it. We need to keep Jamie Walker. He proved it on Tuesday. He was the only one. Well, yeah, he was more or less the only one that were running his absolute bits off. He were trying to get in everywhere. Most of it didn't happen, but he were working his socks off, and you couldn't. This is what my whole thing about it is. If they play well, if they play however well they can do, but still lose 5-0, all right, yeah, it's a bad thing in your mouth, bad taste in your mouth, but at least they've put their heart into it. You know, the likes of Halliday, the likes of Walker. I mean, I don't realistically, and I know I'm going to get blasted for this, but I don't think Cook is brilliant. His best season was last season, and he should have gone, and we should have got money for him. If people look now at how he's played this season, we'd be lucky if we get 300 quid for him.
So before we go to Lee, we've had Steve on Facebook. I think hiring Stephen Gent was a massive mistake by Sparks. As for keeping Alexander, it's a yes from me. Give him to get his own playing staff and massive clear out if definitely needed. We've got Kyan on on TikTok. If only we kept Mark Hughes a bit longer. So Lee, same question what I've asked the rest of the people. What's your thoughts on the situation in Bradford City at the minute?
My main thought, let's deal with Alexander. He's here now. We should never let go of Hughes, but we did. This is still Mark Hughes' team. And he's doing best he can with it. Their loyalty would have been towards Hughes. It upset them for a long while afterwards. Now, the players I would keep, talking about Cook, he's got 16 goals across all competitions this season in a side that's underperforming massively. I don't think that's bad form, really, when you consider what he's been getting supply-wise. He is that good, but he needs supply and he needs someone to play alongside him. Alexander definitely needs to get rid of what he can get rid of and bring in what he can bring in. And then we get to see his team, not Mark Hughes' team. Simple as that, I think. The players themselves, I think if it were me, I'd be telling them you're playing for a contract because some of you aren't going to be here next season. He's got, 8 games left? 9 games? 8 games, yeah. To go. Yeah. I'd be putting it on the toes. Show me what you've got. Show me that you want to put this shirt on and wear this badge and show those fans what you've got in your locker, because last 5 games, really? Is that enough to get you a contract? No. Show us that you've got some bottle. Show us that you're playing for the club and not just a paycheck at end of the week. We've had those players before. We need players with bottle. We need players that want to play for Bradford City. We need players that can play on any kind of ground. Our ground is crap and everybody knows it. And yeah, it does need sorting out. But how do you sort it out when there's tons and tons and tons of concrete holding stands up underneath it?
Yeah. So before we go to Cali, so we've had Steve again on Facebook. Walker signed a 3-year contract, didn't he, at the end of 2023? ? I don't know about that. Does anybody know anything about that? Walker signed a contract?
He did, and I think a year of that were in Bradford's favour, like they've been doing with some other players. So he gets to 2.5 years, and then they say we're going to invoke this extra year if they want to, depending how it's going. I don't know how it works because I'm not a manager and I'm certainly not an administrator. So, but that was mentioned.
Okay, before Sam, I know you got your hand up. 2 seconds, I'll get to you in a minute. So a couple of TikToks have come in. We've got Jack. Everyone is to blame the people at the top 2, manager and players. And then Jack, the people at the top haven't done the best of jobs. Don't get me wrong, but some of the managers' decision baffle me, and the players ain't performing on the pitch. Jack's put he signed a 2-year deal after his loan, so his deal is up at the end of the season. So we've got Stan. You got your hand up there, mate?
Yeah, just from what Lee said, I think under most circumstances you'd probably have an agreement being in agreement in terms of like the players playing for a contract next year. But you got to ask yourself, do these players actually, and rightfully so, would they want to play for us in in a club that's basically in the state that it is. And I think, so for example, I've heard a couple of things about things in training, and I'm not going to say what it is because it's like somebody told us it in confidence, so I'm not going to sort of just try to be one of those in the know sort of people kind of thing. But I genuinely feel that the players really don't rate Alexander. In fact, I can say this without sort of betraying any confidences, but my mate who I trust overheard Jamie Walker, I can't remember which game it was, when he was still out. Somebody asked him, a fan was asked Jamie Walker about the game or something, and Jamie Walker was alluding to the tactics that were being employed. So I don't think they would lose sleep over kind of not wanting to play for us under Graham Alexander, and I think that's basically what's happening. So a player can give 100%. That's a bare minimum. However, I don't think they've got any faith, and I don't either, in Alexander, and that's why I would say I'd rather get rid of the manager and build around the nucleus of a decent enough squad than kind of get Alexander in and do another summer chop and change, and then how long do you give him after that? And we're in the same boat.
So do we bring someone like Jagger in then?
Yeah, I've not.
Or even John Hendry's been mentioned as well. So
I've no problem with like a director of football type thing. In that sense, to kind of give some sort of football nous to the sort of like some football knowledge in terms of making the decisions. But I think I would rather see, and this is maybe fantasy land because managers have turned us down, but I'd rather we look for somebody that which we don't have, is to follow on the philosophy, a way of playing. Basically, we've built this squad, and like I said, there are deficiencies in the squad, but I'd rather us do that than rip up another squad and be in this position again. And I genuinely don't trust Alexander to take us forward. That's my opinion, but I would rather...
That's why I think we were wrong to get rid of Hughes, because he was trying to input a philosophy into the club, not just into the players that were there now, but into the club. This is what it should be like.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at Sparks' comments in the TNA when he had those articles, and he was kind of saying, what I like about Alexander, because he doesn't have like a plane. And I'm thinking, surely, I mean, I know what he was trying to say, but this is really where he kind of shoots himself in the foot, because you want somebody with a philosophy, because as a club you want a philosophy, whether it's hoofball or whether it's playing kids and selling them on or whatever. You can't not have a philosophy, and so it sort of like somebody that's basically, he's just picking the team out of a
Crew didn't do bad on it with Dario Grady, did they?
Exactly. Sorry to jump in there, Lee, but
you're all right, mate. Go for it.
Cool. Sorry, I'll.
We're not in disagreement.
No, absolutely.
So I know Callie's been waiting patiently.
Sorry, Callie.
So
no, don't. I enjoy listening to you all. Don't worry.
So, Callie, same question we've asked everybody else. What's your thoughts currently on the ownership, manager, players? Who would you get rid of, and other players?
The only player I would get rid of is Smallwood. I just don't think he brings out the team. He's not captain. And Rupp wise, I don't know why Rupp is still here. I think we need somebody to buy us, put some money into the club, make us good again. Do you know what I mean? Did you remember years ago? And it was City is great, and it was just. The City were buzzing, and it's just not now.
Bradford's bouncing back.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing I was trying to remember. And I remember seeing it all in the Telegraph and Argus, and the whole community got behind the club. There's none of that anymore. And fitness-wise, I think we need somebody like Gary Jones, Jamie Lawrence, somebody like that to gear them players up. Get them trained. I mean, I know they're trained now, but I don't think they're fit enough. I don't think they're fit enough to run around on the pitch. A few of them are, but not the whole team. And I think thought of somebody like Jamie Lawrence to proper kick them up their asses, basically, and get them moving.
I think some of that unfitness is mental as well as physical.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I said earlier, I think the heads have gone down already, and we're 7 points off playoffs. They shouldn't be doing that, but it looks the last few games that they've played. That's how it looks to me.
So if we lose tomorrow, Kelly, and I mean if we get battered tomorrow by Harrogate 2-3-0, where do you reckon that would leave Alexander? Do you reckon he'll resign? Do you reckon he'll get sacked, or do you reckon he'll just?
I think we'll do what we've done for years and sack him too soon. I don't think he's had enough chance, like other people have said. He's had to use Mark Hughes players. I mean, I was quite sad that Mark Hughes went. I liked Mark Hughes, and he basically got us to where we should have been, which was nearly up. Apart from that last game at Carlisle, that was the only downfall to it all, really, wasn't it? But he achieved what he said he was going to achieve, and he nearly got us there.
Yeah, you've got your hand up, Cameron.
I just didn't want to butt in over anyone. I didn't know what Callie was speaking, but when Callie was speaking, I couldn't hear anything. I don't know if it was just me with that problem or.
I think it just generally happens on these cases.
I didn't want to talk over anyone. That's all.
So, you got anything you want to say, Cameron? Anything?
I don't know, because I couldn't really add on to what was said there without hearing it. If anyone could just give a rundown of that.
Do you know, Kelly? Do you want to say what you just said a minute ago, if you can remember?
I can't hear it.
Oh, no, you can't, can you? Can you still hear?
I can't hear nothing now. I can still hear you. I can hear you, Chris, Lee, that's it.
No, it's technical difficulties again. It always happens. So, Cameron can't hear you, Kelly.
Johnny, do you
I can try leave and rejoin if that makes any.
Yeah, try to leave and
Johnny, do you think it's because there's so many speakers in at once? Do you think that's what does it?
I don't know. It's just a pain in the arse in general, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It did to me last week, didn't it? I couldn't hear Lee last week.
I know. I'll let you don't know, but with the podcast about other week, basically when you spoke, no one could hear you, and then that actually went onto the podcast. So it were technical issues extraordinaire other week. Every time you spoke, no one could hear you. It didn't even come out on podcast. It just came out blank.
I've got big shoulders. I can take it.
So, Cameron, you are back?
Yeah, I'm back.
So, Callie, can you just speak for like 2 seconds?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I can hear that.
Right, so while Callie chit-chats, I'm just going to disappear for 2 minutes. So, Callie and Cameron, if you two want to chat between yourselves for 2 minutes, I'll be back in a minute.
2 sugars, half a cow in mine, please. Thank you.
What I was saying, Cameron, is that we need somebody like Jamie Lawrence, Gary Jones, them kind of people to gear the team up, get the fitness levels up. I don't think our fitness levels are where they should be at all. Certain players have, but they haven't. And I like to go back to the days of the McMahon and Rory McArdle. I mean, them sort of players were out of this world, weren't they?
Yeah, I think we were a bit spoiled at the time, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just think fitness as well.
It goes back to when players put that shirt on. It's like Bobby Poynton. He does it every time he puts the shirt on. He runs ragged, and even if he loses a ball, he'll run round till he gets it back. And I don't think that our players are doing that at the minute. I think the heads have gone down, and I just think they've given up. I really do.
Yeah, I just think certain players that can't handle the pressure of the club, to be honest.
No. Do we Sorry, Johnny. Can I just ask one question? Do we all still think that the players don't deal with the nervousness and the tension of playing in front of a big crowd?
I think the home record compared to the away record the last few seasons just suggest. I think when we're away, there's sort of not the pressure there. When we're at home, I think if other teams, it's the easiest team talk in the league for me. If a team comes to Valley Parade, gets the first goal, all we've got to do then sit back. Our fans are on us players' backs. It's so easy for them if they get the first goal.
Hang on though, it's the same team as it's Hughes' team from last season, more or less.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's had one transfer window, though, hasn't he, to improve the team, and obviously he got rid of Ossie Debe. He's loaned out Vidame Oliver, and I can't remember who else he's got rid of, but he's had a transfer window, and we've only brought in one player.
He's coming back.
I just don't think I don't think we can judge entirely on a January. To be fair, because it's a lot harder window. I think once he's had a summer, we'll know a lot more.
Look at all that palaver we had with Jake Young. It just all these little things just make our club like a big embarrassment.
I think that was smoke and mirrors, me, to be honest.
Yeah.
So obviously, I don't think, like we said earlier, I don't think a miracle we're going to go up, but miracles do happen. So if we do end up in playoffs, we end up in playoffs.
If we can get them to perform, it's still there for us. You know, some of us are eternal optimists. That'd be me. I'll hand my hand up for
that. So I'll move on now for another 10 minutes or so. Does anyone want to rant about anything, vent about anything, chat about anything else? Where we stand and just work our way across?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of really the major thing at the moment within the club is basically the ownership situation and for me the manager's situation. I think, you know, from his point of view, he doesn't have to sell, but obviously it's really in his best interest to sell. And with the manager situation, I'll just kind of sound like a scratch record, but I'd rather sort of change one person, i.e. the manager, to carry on because we have a squad pretty much where you know, one game off a Wembley final in terms of like playoffs last season, and I think earlier, I think if Sam Walker's in goal at the start of the season, if Harry goes to Barnsley, I think we're in a better position overall. So I would work on that principle because I think it's better to bring in a man who kind of has the. Because I still believe we've got a squad good enough to get to the playoffs, but at the moment they are sort of, I think, probably demoralised. And going back to the points of like the home form, I think we'll just look at this season. At the start of this season, when fans are booing a sideways or backwards pass, so there is an element of that when the crowd is hostile. But I think probably the element of like when we do go a goal down, then all teams have to do generally when they come to Valley Parade is shut up shop or shit house for like 90 minutes. And you know, we from a tactical point of view, perhaps we haven't been able to break down teams. But I would say for the first half of last season, when Walker was out, when he came back in and then got up to form, we were turning draws overall into wins. And that's how, you know, crucial a player. And by all accounts, we were after McDonald was training with us last January, and we bring in Clay. So I think if McDonald joins us last season, we've gone up. So that is my view, and I know it's kind of like in terms of people talking about not chopping and changing managers, but I think I'd rather change the manager to kind of go with the squad that I think overall is good enough.
Yeah, Diane?
I know some of the players have complained about the state of the pitch at home, haven't they? How it's looking and everything. Some of them have blamed it on the pitch. About how we're playing. Yeah. They've blamed it on the pitch. Because last season the pitch was perfect. This season it's just absolutely crap. When you look at old pictures from like this time last year and you've got green grass on it, and now you've got mud and it's coming up, but that could be to do with all the cup run that we had. So it could be something to do with the pitch as well.
Also in February, I think it was the wettest February we've ever had as well.
Yeah.
I think that's sent it over the edge. So before we go to Georgia, we've had a TikTok coming from Ellis. What are your thoughts on the Colin Doyle in the goalkeeping setup? My thoughts on that is I think he's okay, but he ain't brilliant. So he's okay, like training goalkeepers like Sam Walker and stuff like that, and obviously the younger generation. But I think we need to bring in a decent setup. But going back to what people said about the staff, it's like I watched We Made History DVD, and I've also watched the Matter of Heart DVD. And looking at that, it looks like they've had good coaching staffs in the past. And I think, Chris, tell me if I'm wrong, but someone on the Bradford City show what we're on yesterday, they mentioned about Parkinson and his coaching staff and his fitness staff.
Yeah, they did.
And I know they mentioned it on Radio Leeds as well about fitness. So fitness really is a big thing for City. And I know before we go to Georgia again, sorry for butting in, but this team needs a complete change in January in the summer. I know this. Every time I ring Radio Leeds, I always describe it as Groundhog Day. Same shit, different day. So with it all, clear all the team out and actually rebuild a team. Get rid of the people who are on high earners, who are not good enough for the club, and hopefully that will give Graham Alexander another season or so. See how he goes on, see if he improves. If he don't, we'll just end up in the same boat in probably a couple of months' time where we'll get the sack. Georgia?
Don't really have a lot to add. I've just been a bit preoccupied because I've been helping Little on an iPad.
All right. Chris, have you got what you want to chat about, vent about, shout about?
Well, you see, with Alexander, we're saying sort of let him have his day, but hold on. Some of his selections are well and truly spurious. They're out there. It's like he's just taken a full cake of cocaine or something like that and gone, oh, my head's buzzing. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I do not get it. I'm sort of siding with Stan on this. I think if you give him that time, you're on a tempance. You're like, it's balanced and it can go either way. He's either going to get rid of the dross that we've got now and get his own team in, but that's going to cost money, and where's that money coming from? Or you get rid of him now and bring somebody in. Now, don't ask me who that somebody's going to be, because I couldn't tell you. But I do believe that Alexander's not the man for this job because he's made too many mistakes.
So do you think Graham Alexander football is boring?
No, I wouldn't say boring. I'd say it's inadequate. I don't agree with his formation. I don't agree with his selection. Not all the time, don't get me wrong. I'm not being defeatist on it all, but sometimes you've got better players that could do a better job sat on bench, and he's not playing them for a certain reason. And Poynton is one of them. I'm not like laying down and going, oh, Master Poynton, you need to be on blah, blah, blah. But come on. The lad runs at players. The lad, he's not a right good tackler because of his stature, size, everything. But that'll come to him. He needs to play. That lad has got no fear. And he don't mind running, don't mind tackling, he don't mind going in and having a shot on target. Some games, don't get me wrong, he will be out of his depth. But come on, put him in. 20 minutes, that's all you're asking for if he's going to come on as a sub.
Yeah.
Alexander.
Miss Kelly, you got your hand up, look?
Yeah, I just wanted to say with Alexander, going back a few months, you could tell if he'd got it wrong through that, we're watching the first half, and then they come out the second half, the players, and they'd be like a different team. And I don't know what he did or what he said, but he seemed to, I've got it wrong that bit, but I'm going to put it right now. And he would put it right. I haven't seen him do that for the past few games. And I don't know why. I don't know why you can't see what we can see.
What I find, sorry for butting in Chris as well. We've got Cameron in a minute, but on that Callie, I've noticed he sits in the stands now, and obviously after the second half he comes down. But is he trying to get a better view in the stands, or what do you reckon from there?
I don't know. I don't get that because he's done that. He's only done that recently, hasn't he? He's not done that from the beginning.
He did that after a certain while because, yes, I mean, managers do that, and like a lot of rugby managers sit further up and walkie-talkie down to the bench in both codes. So you should have enough sort of faith in your number two to basically, carry out your instructions. So it's purely based on that. He's got a better view.
And okay, Cameron?
Yeah, just about the thing with him sitting back in the stands. I don't really think it's that big of an issue. I can't remember, didn't see who that said it, but like if you've got enough faith in your number two, then yeah, it's fine on that. And if you looked at Hughes before, he wasn't really the most vocal manager on the touchline. I think it's more important what's said in the halftime team talk, really.
Where Alexander is actually sitting at the minute, can fans actually shout stuff at him where he is?
For sure they can.
Probably, yeah.
Because I think he'd be better in dugouts for the next few games if that's the case.
He does it to give him a better view of how his team's forming up, basically. As has been said, rugby, my game, all the time. You sit as high as you possibly can to get a view of how your lines are working. Simple as that.
Sully, what would your thoughts? Are you want to run about, chat about, about anything?
It's Bobby Poynton. What the hell is going on there? That kid needs to play. He needs to play. He's a Bradford lad. He wants to play for his team. Bradford City is his team. And he's been held back, in my opinion. Why isn't he playing? We know he will give 110%. If 110% exists, he'd give you 120. Do you know what I mean? He's that kind of player.
Yeah.
He's not the finished article. But he's never going to be if he doesn't get game time. He needs to play, simple as. And that really boils my pee.
Okay, so the next feature is sponsored by Stan. So, Stan, if you want to do your line for me, please.
Yes, so this feature is sponsored by myself of Stan Jammer Photography, where capturing your image is my focus.
And tomorrow's weather forecast. The sun will rise. Oh, boys, it's going. Bloody hell. Dropped finally after years. Sunrise is at 6 o'clock tomorrow, and the sunset at 18:26. The highest it's going to get tomorrow is probably going to be about 6 to 7 degrees, and it's going to be sunny with a bit of cloud. So just take your jumpers tomorrow, and you should be fine. And that's your weather forecast. Right, everyone's second favourite feature. What's on your plate? If you watch CBBS at 12 o'clock, you'll get this. If not, you'll be like, what in the hell are you chatting about? So to sum it up, what's on your plate? What have you had for your tea? Because I know people like a bit of foodie in this podcast. So Stan, what have you had for your tea?
I had boring chicken barbecue chicken drumsticks that I microwaved. I just got back home late, so I was going to put some roast chicken in the oven with some Sweden mash, Sweden carrots mashed.
Diane?
I had homemade tomato soup and a chicken sandwich. I didn't really want a
Georgia?
I think we're having chicken nuggets because that's what little man's asked for. But I know I'm going to be cooking a chicken curry at some point.
Does he have any red sauce or brown sauce? Or does he have any sauce?
Little boy, so ketchup it is.
Have you got enough to go around? I'm just saying.
Not in my house, but not what I've got to do for the four of us.
Chris?
Oh, I'm on. I've got to cook it yet, but I'm on belly pork tonight with a nice crust crackling. Come on, lad.
Crunch, crunch.
Make sure you don't pull your teeth out, Chris. Don't want you whistling at tomorrow's game.
Oh, well, there might be a bit of whistling.
Cameron?
Bit of a loss of appetite today for me, so it's just a pot noodle.
What kind of pop noodle though? You can't just leave it at pop noodle. No, not bad. Lee?
Well, fish and chip Friday, but I had a fish and a cake.
Any sauce on it, Lee? Or did you get it dry?
Tomato.
All right. And Miss Kelly, I know you like to say stuff, and also we get quite a lot of TikToks when you say what you're having to eat. So what are you having to eat today, Kelly?
Right, first of all, Diane, you need to shut your ears. I've had a McDonald's because I couldn't be arsed coming home from stables. I just couldn't be arsed, so I got a McDonald's. It was Lainey's fault, actually, because she wanted one.
That's it, blame your daughter.
I couldn't resist.
What? Same again, Kelly, you can't leave us at half that. What have you had for your McDonald's? Come on.
I did actually go a bit overboard. I've had a double cheeseburger, large fries, and 9 nuggets.
And how many sins is that, Kelly?
I know. I've probably had my full sins for a month.
It was just one meal. You know, you had me at double cheeseburger.
I got have a pound on
so we've got some,
having a takeaway.
That I also have a cream egg McFlurry waiting in the freezer as well for pudding.
Oh,
so we've got some Diane. We've got some breaking news coming in, and the breaking news is I think Kelly's going to get absolutely told off when she next time goes to a weigh-in.
Do you know what? I'm probably not going to go, if I'm honest.
Yeah, next time she goes to
Are you going to blob? Is she blobbing?
Next time she goes to City and sees someone in a pink hat, she's going to get into some serious trouble.
Kelly, was it worth it? Was it worth it?
Absolutely. I'll work it. Do you know what, though? I'll be going to horses tomorrow and I'll be working it off in that field anyway, so...
And you got a week to lose it?
Yeah, I've got a week to get. I can get it off in a week.
Yeah, we'll put it this way. I lost 2.5 this week, so
I'll just drink water all week. That'll do it.
That's only because you dropped your handbag, Diane.
What was that?
No.
What's this? My handbag.
Can I just say when we lost to Mansfield, Diane didn't have a pink hat on, and I blame Diane for that particular game.
So I've just got one more question to ask everybody, and this was on the I've just seen it now on Hard's Truth Inside the Football Industry podcast. That is with what's his name, Darragh McCarthy, who's the Peterborough chairman. Sorry, and then we've got is it Idson, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. One question got fan-owned bid to buy Bradford City. What's your thoughts on that, Stan?
Say that again. Sorry. Final thoughts on bid to Bradford to buy Bradford City.
Yeah.
Can I just say what I think on that a minute? Mark
go ahead, Lee.
Go for it, Lee.
Lawn is behind a few of those. Just saying.
Oh, okay. So Lee, is there some what word am I looking for? Legs in this then?
Very possibly, yeah, because he is interested. He's not happy about the way things are. And a few of these conglomerates that he's trying to put together, eventually one of them will get it. But I think Mark Lawn is definitely edging his way to being on his way back. So, and I don't mind that. I know Mark. I've known him since we used to be in Bradford End together with my cousin, Paul, his best mate. So, yeah.
That was mentioned yesterday, guys.
With that, Lee, I remember Mark Lawn days, and I think there was some at best the club had, if I'm honest.
I think you're right. I would not be against Mark Lawn coming back at all.
100%.
Cameron, you've got your hand up, mate?
Personally, I just don't think the fan-owned model would work again. As much as, I've got a lot of time for Mark Lawn, it's been there before. I think there's only so far that it can push you before, again, you're back in the same boat of having to sell to an investor. I just think we'd be better off seeking other investment that can take us to a further level, because fan ownership means fan investment, and we all know when things start turning sour how quick our fans can turn. And I just personally don't think it would work.
Well, the thing is, this time, if Mark did get back, he wouldn't have roads with him, would he? So it's the financial clout.
Yeah, quote me if I'm wrong,
there.
but I'm pretty sure I seen Lorne in an interview before. When he did sell the club, did he not tie a lot of his money up in other areas? So would he actually?
Oh, he did,
Yeah, so would he have the money? Like, he can't do it alone.
Bars and stuff. I think
who would come with him?
I think he sold his hotel in Torquay, didn't he? So,
Kelly, you got your hand up, love?
Yeah, I know he's got quite a few properties in Spain that he's been doing up, because I've still got him on my Facebook, and I still see bits and pieces that he does. And the days that Mark Lorne was in charge, he always had, wherever he was, he always had his City scarf on, like a proper fan. Do you know what I mean? I know some fans don't wear scarves, but
that's exactly what he is.
Yeah, that's what he is, exactly, and that's what we need. And I think, you can all shoot me down if you like with whatever. Diane will probably agree with me. I think we need a woman's input on a board. We need a proper board of directors.
I don't think Mark's into having a sex change. I know it's enlightened times and all that.
Yeah, we do need a woman on the board.
We do absolutely do need a woman in charge, I think. Do you know what? If I win that year, with me and Diane have said this a few times, if we ever win like the Euro Millions and we win enough, I would buy the club and I'd sort it out one way or another. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Chris, what's your thoughts on fan-owned ownership of Bradford City if the rumours are true and got legs?
Well, it were in that thing yesterday, and basically they were saying that Lorne's actually approached a new consortium and just were asking them to go into it and provide a bona fide sort of quotation going through sort of thing.
It's been doing that for about 3 months now, mate.
Yeah, well, it just shows you then that he's interested in it. He knows. He's been there before. He's going in. If he goes in again, he'll go in with other people. So you've not just got one singular backing for monetary purposes.
Is Bradford City through and through, is Mark?
I think that's what you've got to have. I mean, someone mentioned earlier on about somebody's interested, they're American. Right? You're looking at whether it's one person or a consortium of people that are coming in from America. You'll never see them. You might see them once a season. Just like what Rupp's doing now, you're in the same boat. They might have the money injection. That's fine, fair enough. But look at Glazers for Man U. They've done that.
But then there's other ones. There's the Carlisle owners, and I think Gillingham owners, if my memory serves me correctly, they're both American. Yeah. They're pumping money in, and also they're at games and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, let's test the water. Let's see. If it's going to work, it's going to work. If it's not, it's not. So anything's got to be better than the situation we are currently in.
It worked in spectacular fashion for Wrexham, didn't it?
Yeah.
Georgia, love, what's your thoughts on a fan-owned city?
I don't know. Like, something needs to change, but just don't know what it'd be that would help.
We need his own ground back.
That's what's killing us at the minute, the ground.
Yeah. Is it 500,000 or so, 500k a month? It's
$500,000 a year. Put it in the round figures.
So go to, Callie first, then Stan, and then we'll finish off with Diane. So
I was just going to say that whoever does it needs to buy the ground so that it is ours, completely ours. And it's got to be somebody that has got Bradford City in their heart. And it's in their, do you know what I mean? It's part of their life. It's not just about the money. Yeah, the money we need, but they've got to have that other half of them that wants the actual team. Do you know what I mean? Like us fans, we'll always support them through thick and thin and through ups and downs. But the owner's got to want to be there. Do you know what I mean?
Stan?
Yeah, I think in terms of the fans ownership, well, it was pretty much the fans that got Hughes sacked, so I'm not so sure about that. I mean, just a flippant comment on my part. I think basically, I've no problem with whoever comes in, where they're from, do have the club's interest at heart. But what they need to do is they would need to appoint a new CEO and make him the highest paid person at the club. Obviously with that being coming Barber in the club, because they you look at the decisions that the CEO's made and the poor decisions that the CEO's made. I think, kind of having, with the consortium, Lorne is a City fan, he's got City at heart, and I think I'd have no problem with him coming back. All we need is basically somebody capable at the top to steer the club in the correct direction. And obviously, with that includes, a massive part is the football side of things.
Callie, you got your hand up, love?
Can somebody remind me why Lorne actually did leave? I can't remember.
Sold it to Rupp and his criminal friend.
Why did he do that?
Couldn't afford to take it forward. He'd reached an impasse where he couldn't afford.
Yeah, it was monetary.
It was financial.
The money thing.
Right. He was running out of it.
Yeah.
So before we go to Diane, we've actually had a question come through, so if anyone can answer this on TikTok. This is from BCFC Robin. Is it a fan with money and business experience, or is it just a fan with money? That's from BCFC Robin. So does anybody, Lee, do you know the answer to that, or anyone got an inkling or any inside information?
You've all heard of Driver Hire. Well, he built that up. So he's definitely got business experience. He had the money. I don't know what his financial status is now, but he's not skinned, let's put it that way.
You see, he could go in, couldn't he? He could be the leader of it, or the head, and then have 3 or 4 that are the consortium that are the money pumpers, if that's the word.
I beg your pardon.
The pumpers, and you liked it.
So, Callie, I don't know if you was with me at the time. Sorry, Diana, we'll get to you in a minute. But we're in the Cartwright pub, and there was a conversation happening, and this was before things happened with Crawley. There were rumours going around in the pub that people who used to own Manchester United was interested in buying Bradford City. But then, by all accounts, there was something on social media the other day on social media from a source that they're in talks with American consultant. So I hope things change for the better. And we'll go on to Diane. What's your thoughts, Diane, on the fans?
I've no idea. I think if the fans are doing it, it would be good. Like Callie said, that we have always talked about, if we won the money, we would buy the club and then get it all sorted out. But yeah, I think fans consortium would be good, because you need people that are passionate about the team, not people that will just come and pump money in and not be there, like Rupp isn't there. So that's my opinion. Yeah, you do need people that are a fan of the team and will be there every match. And like we were saying, we've got to take the rough with the smooth, the ups and downs, and that's what it's like supporting Bradford City. It's always going to be a roller coaster.
It always has been, I can assure you.
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna leave it there, guys and girls. I'm just gonna mute everybody. So thank you everybody for joining. YouTube, TikTok, thank you for coming along today. If you like what you're hearing, give us a follow on Chickens on the Loose podcast on Twitter, on Facebook also, and also Chickens on the Loose podcast. We've also got a small Facebook page, Bradford City Up the Chickens on Facebook, where we do Golden Goal every match day, and also we do a Super 6 every year. And also, if anyone's interested in Bradford City around the world, come on by us, please. Come and save us. Come and buy the pitch, the ground, and also make us fans happy. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Thank you for listening, and up the chickens.
Bradford, it's
TalkSport Fan Network is proudly supported by McDelivery, bringing you the food you love. McDelivery brings a top-tier line of food right to your door. No matter the result, you'll always be winning with McDelivery. So, the only thing left to say is, you in? Order now on the McDonald's app, and you can also get rewards points delivered too, so that ordering today means some tasty rewards for tomorrow. Only via app at participating restaurants, 18 plus. Rewards registration required. Points only on menu items. Delivery fee and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.